excited about today is, are you familiar with the concept of bucket filling? So you may have heard a little bit about, the concept of how full is your bucket. And so this book, How Full is Your Bucket for Kids, there's another one for like the general adults, but the bucket represents your mental and emotional self. So the concept really of bucket filling is to fill your bucket or somebody else's bucket by using positive actions and words to make somebody feel good. And these could be in the form of compliments, kind words or gestures, helping somebody out, just a smile, holding a door. It's being respectful, kind, caring, and thoughtful. So we have, if somebody trips and falls, helps them up, holding a door open, offering to carry something, pick something up for somebody. Those are all ways that we can fill our bucket and somebody else's bucket at the same time. Now, bucket dipping, on the other hand, is the opposite of that. It is taking away from your bucket. So it is saying or doing unkind things and refusing to help, being disrespectful, and really like kind of making fun of someone. If you're thinking of kids who, gossiping, bullying fits into this, just being mean. So that taking away from your bucket. So how full of is your bucket is by bucket filling. All those drops of those good deeds come in and fill your bucket. If you're doing the opposite, if you're being mean, rude, disrespectful, you're taking away from your bucket. So it's emptying. But today I want to take this idea of filling buckets just a little bit farther and use it to look, how are we filling our mission, our purpose, or our dreams or our goals in life? Okay. So everything you do either fills your bucket or takes away from it. So your thoughts, your feelings, your actions, they either fill up your bucket or they take away from your bucket. Okay. So if we're expanding this version, what are the buckets in your life? So when we think about your bucket and more of your mission, your purpose, the different areas of your life, like what could your different buckets be? So when I think about it, I view the buckets as like a health bucket. Okay. I have a family bucket. Another one just for relationships, friends, community, just co-workers, relationships that I have outside of family. I have like another bucket could be work, right? Or finances. These are different areas of your life. It could be your hobbies, your interests, your outside passions outside of work. So think about different areas of your life as being a bucket, right? So what are some of your buckets? Just think about those. And then how are you filling these buckets? How are you filling your different buckets? Maybe of health, family, relationships, work, hobbies. How are you filling these up? And how are you taking away or dipping out of them? So, and then also, why do you want to fill these buckets? Right? What is the purpose of filling these buckets? Right? Well, if we fill the buckets as before in how full is your bucket, and you think about the bucket filling, we want to feel good, right? We want life to be good. We want these different buckets to energize us and make us confident and feel good. So we want to fill these buckets up with good things. We don't want to run on empty, right? We want a full bucket. And so let's just do a couple examples, right? Health bucket. Say we have a health bucket. So how would you be filling up your health bucket? Well, you fill it up by how are you taking care of yourself? What are you eating? Are you moving your body? Are you getting some exercise? Are you getting enough sleep? Right? Are you managing your stress and your emotions? Are you mentally and physically well? Right? How do you do that? Do you eat well, sleep well? Yeah, move your body. Is that filling up your bucket of health? Right? In what ways are you taking away from your health bucket? How are you taking away, or what holes in your bucket are draining your health energies, right? What's creating holes in your bucket? Are you not getting enough sleep? Right? Are you staying up late? Are you not getting a good quality sleep? Getting up early, just running yourself on like burning the rope on both ends, right? Like you run, 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 run. Are you losing sleep? Right? Are you not eating well? Are you eating too many sweets? Are you eating too much fast food? Are you not getting enough vegetables? Are you not getting enough protein? Some of your macros that your body needs to function, right? So if you're not eating well, not sleeping well, are you dipping and taking away from your health bucket? You're not optimizing, you're not full, you're not full of energy, you're not vibrant, right? So what would you need to do to start filling this bucket back up, or patching the leak, right? Patching the holes. Like what would you need to shift in order to start filling the bucket up? And how fast can you fill it up, right? What are some changes that you could do to start getting your health bucket filled up? Go to bed earlier, eat more protein and vegetables, less sweets, more water. You know, there's a lot of information. I choose health because it's so easy, right? It's so easy. There's so much information out there. You just have to choose what's best for you, right? Well, what about a work bucket, right? If you have your work bucket, how are you filling that bucket up? Are you filling it up by scheduling time to work on the most important activities and tasks first? Right? Are you filling it up by being focused and productive? You know what you need to do today. You know what you need to accomplish this week, and you schedule and you block time that's uninterrupted. You put your phone away, you shut off your notifications, and you get focused work done, and you're productive. This is filling your bucket, your work bucket, right? But how are you taking away from your work bucket? What do you do that creates holes in your bucket? Is it the distractions, right? Right now it's kids are out on summer break. So I've got 3 kids upstairs, right? I could just hear them. They're getting breakfast. They're, moving around up there. That could be a distraction, right? Your phone. Your phone can be a distraction. Do you have it on silent? Do you have notifications turned off so that when you have blocked your time to work on the task that is most important for the day, that you're not constantly interrupted by dings or phone calls or things that are going to interrupt your thought pattern? Because it takes about 20 minutes to get back into the flow of things. When you think about it, like we could never be in the flow if we allow distractions to happen, right? What if we're choosing the little busy work stuff, if we're checking emails, responding to people, other people's agenda, when it's the best time for us to focus and work on the task at hand? That is creating holes in our work bucket. So I'm not going to take this time right now to go through all of your buckets and what fills up or takes away from all of these buckets, but I do highly encourage you to think about all the different buckets in your life and how are you filling it up and how are you taking away from it? What are the holes in your bucket? Right? So this concept of having different buckets is a great way to evaluate how you're doing in each area of your life. easily able to measure it. Am I filling it up or I'm taking away from it, right? But how does one bucket affect another bucket, right? How do all the buckets relate to one another? So if we have health, work, family, relationships, finances, hobbies, okay, what happens if my health bucket is running low? What happens to the rest of the buckets? How am I able to fill the rest of the buckets when I'm not feeling well, when my health is suffering, right? Okay, if I'm got a headache, I haven't got enough sleep, I might be eating too much crap, then my focus isn't there. I have brain fog. I'm tired. I can't concentrate. How does that affect my work bucket? Well, I'm really more distracted. My brain is not focused, so I can't get some good flow going. Okay. How does being tired affect my family bucket? Well, I know that I am a crabby mom when I'm tired. So that's not helping fill up the relationships, the connections with my kids and my spouse. I don't want to be around me when I'm crabby, let alone anybody else. So having optimizing filling my health bucket can really help in my relationships with my kids and my family. And at work, I can concentrate more. So that kind of carries over and fills up the other buckets, right? So think about too, your different buckets and how they relate to one another. If I have a full health bucket, a lot of my other buckets are doing well, right? Because I have the energy, I have the focus, I have the mental and emotional capacity to do that. And I want to do more of that. Again, I'm not going to go through each bucket like this and how it can affect other buckets. I think you kind of get the idea, but I want to throw out the idea of, is there a bigger bucket? Right? And I believe there is. I believe there is a bigger bucket that all these other buckets fill up. So I've kind of been struggling a little bit lately with the feeling that all of my aspects of my life, my health, my work, family, friends, hobbies are, that all of these things that are important are separate. They're like in silos. They're separate thing. They're not really connected, but I know they are. I mean, I know that they're interconnected because I know if my health is off, if I'm not feeling well, it affects the other aspects of my life, right? But I couldn't see really, I was struggling to see how they all worked or contributed to the bigger picture of life. I can see the little entrances, between them. But how does this affect the overall bigger picture of my life? And then I had this vision of these little buckets filling a larger bucket, right? What is that bigger bucket? What's that larger bucket? I view the larger bucket as like the overall, my purpose in life, my mission, the impact that I want to make on the world, my bigger goals and dreams, right? That's how I see this bigger bucket. So I see these little buckets of health, work, relationships, and then the bigger bucket underneath. And my bigger bucket, I see as like more my purpose statement, my mission. My mission and purpose in life is to live freely, to create deep connections with family, to make a positive impact on the world by sharing my love of learning while challenging and inspiring others to do the same. That's like my bigger bucket. So now, what is your bigger bucket? Do you have that bigger bucket, that bigger vision? I used to have it up here, like this is my big vision. And then all of these things fall underneath of it. But now I'm flipping it to see these little buckets, all these aspects of my life are really filling up this bigger bucket underneath. What is your bigger bucket? What is that? Is that your bigger mission? Is that your bigger purpose in life? Okay. Now, when I see these little buckets and this bigger bucket underneath, that is like my bigger vision of life, my purpose, my mission, I can view everything that I do in these littler buckets that either fills up or takes away from the bigger bucket, the big picture, not just the little smaller buckets, but it also fills up or takes away from my bigger purpose in life. I'm either moving towards it, my goals and my dreams, or I'm not. I'm moving away from it, from whatever I'm doing. So think about how everything that you do, if you're intentional about your health, your work, your family relationships, your hobbies, finances, if you are really intentional, that is going to fill up your, not only the little buckets, but the bigger bucket, the bigger meaning in your life. So how can you fill up your bigger bucket faster? Well, we got to start with filling up our smaller buckets faster, right? We have got to do the things that fill up our smaller buckets, our health, but our different aspects of our life faster. And we need to keep them full. So once we know what works for us, we have to create the schedule, the routine, the habits to do that consistently. So we're filling up those buckets so we can empty into the bigger bucket, the bigger meaning and purpose of our life. So to wrap this up today, I believe all aspects of our lives can be put into little buckets that fill our bigger bucket in life. Everything we do affects everything else. So here's some questions to ask. What are your little buckets? How are you filling them up? Is what I'm doing filling up my bucket and buckets, or are they taking away from my buckets and my big bucket? What am I creating holes in them? And if my bucket is not filling, what do I need to do to stop the leak and start filling it up again? We know these answers. We know these answers. We just need to do them. What's your bigger bucket? What's your main goal, your purpose, your mission, your dream in life? What's your reason why you do what you do? That's your bigger bucket. And how can I fill up my bigger bucket faster? By filling up the smaller buckets faster and keeping them full.